morning. 3 in the morning. We've got between 7, 8 and 9 knots. We've got quite a bit of traffic in the middle of the area here. With a apparent of 22, true wind speed 16 going up to 18. Crossing across to Cape Verde. We're probably about a third of the way across. About a third. And banging along merrily. It's very loud. The conditions have been beating basically probably at a 30-degree into the swell here, so not pleasant conditions. I don't know if you can hear the creaking of the main. A lot of banging, pretty uncomfortable, but flying along, early morning, second day on the crossing. The sun is just coming up. It's a bit overcast. It's going to come up just now. Flying along. 8.79. Really cooking. Got a fair bit of traffic. Boat crossing our hours there. There's still 21, 16 apparent, 21, 22 apparent, 16 true. The sea's actually looking very nice. The sea's settled. It's actually better than I expected in the middle here, so it's looking good. Sunrise, 6:10 local time. That's actually Cape Verde time. See there. So many of these nice sunrises. It's amazing how quickly we've changed from a pair of board shorts only day and night to some tracksuits, coveralls. Feeling the temperature of the northern hemisphere. I think a lot of this wind that's coming from north from the colder mountain areas and that up over Europe. So a big difference. Water temps dropped to 23 degrees, so it's come down 7 degrees. Over 7 degrees, we had over 30 degrees in the tropics. So it's been quite a drastic change over the last sort of 5 days. The water was very dirty off Gambia, those big rivers that come out there in deltas. But there was a lot of life on that 23.5 degree, 23.3 area. There's been a lot of flying fish. The deck was covered with flying fish this morning. We're collecting those pitch baits. Still a lot of flying fish here today. So we'll see if we get any visitors today. Really enjoyed the morning sail, the early morning sail, just playing with the sail setup and getting her to sail in a straight line and hold course, on a tight beat. You can see we're sitting at the moment, we're sitting on actually 30 there. 30, 33, 35. We found that looks like the limit of her sailing capability into the wind. I suppose it's also dependent on how much chop and how much current you've got. But she seems to be holding the course well now. 37 to 40 is perfect. You can go along at about 8-9 knots, no problem. We've had a pretty rough night. The beginning was pretty rough with a lot of current line, and we were on the limit. The wind's veered a little bit now. It's given us an extra 10 degrees, which has made a big difference. So going along nicely now, and probably averaging between 7.5, 8 when the wind's at 40 plus. She comes back to 30 and then goes back to 45, 50, and obviously that's when you pick up speed again. So it's been fun. I really enjoyed this sail this morning, not only because it's a voyage of discovery, but also doing something new which you've never done before, learning a new skill, and then also going to a new place. We've been to Ascension and St. Helena, so I suppose it wasn't as exciting as where we're going now, because this is a new spot and a new discovery. So added excitement and enjoying it every minute of it. Yeah, we had awesome fun yesterday playing with the bullfish and teasing them, and just generally having a bit of fun with them. We had sail up and 2 blues, 2 young ones, and yeah, just playing with them and bringing them right to the back of the boat, probably 2 meters from behind the boat, and it makes such a difference compared to when you charter. Charter, you have to make everything happen and make it hook up, and there's always that added pressure. So it's such fun to just mess around and just enjoy seeing the fish behind the boat. Seriously looking forward to the Cape Verdes, and pitching with circle hooks. That way you don't have to lead the fish to the boat as well, and yeah, we can just cut off, save my hands and save all of us a lot of trouble. Now this is what it looks like when it's been a rough night. Probably a day and a bit out of Cape Verde. Now a little bit later in the day now. We've got time is 21 minutes past 8 in the morning, and we're doing 9 up to 10 knots now, 9.4, 9.6. We've got 16 and a half, 16 true speed, 20 apparent, 22, and doing 9 and a half, 10, just on the gusts, just holding a course even better now. You can see that the wind's picked up a bit. It's starting to get on a little bit, so it's getting a little bit more. It's getting a bit more bumpy now. But yeah, we're flying along, we're eating up the miles now. Really going well now.
Been a very, very jolly time at sea. Not nice outside, the wind is blowing. Just all over the place. Busy putting reefs to sail, mainsail. Come on!
Hey?
Hooked again.
Want me to ease it slightly? It's got to be on the boom.
On the boom. Now you see that it jammed a bit while you were lifting it.
We've been forced into a bit of a change of plan here. Wind's gone over 20-25 knots now. The sea's pretty shitty. We've got to fill the jib a bit. We should probably have the storm jib up now, but yeah, and we've got a second reef up here. We've got very overpowered. So yeah, still doing 8.49. Oh, I can hear that jib. It's not happy. You lose the shape of the jib when you half fill it away like that. It's just too shitty to put the storm up now. But we're doing 7.5 now, which is screwed up into the wind a bit. Just change course. Just trying to find a happy medium for her again. But the wind she's blowing, a little bit later in the day here. Time now 2:51. Cape Verde time, afternoon. Sea's a little bit on. We've had a couple of waves over the top. We've got doing 10 knots with a second reef and a full jib. We've got 21 still going up to 25 on the gusts. We at least got the swell a little bit more broadside now, so we're riding over the top of them a little bit. We haven't even got teasers out. It's just too jobbly to do much. This ocean always seems to look flat when you video it. Never looks like it really is. It looks like about half of what it is. You just don't get the same perspective. Now I've managed to sort this microphone out a bit. Got 3 layers of cloth around it. It seems to be working better. Just relieved John. Now John's been at the wheel for the last couple of hours. It's going to be a rough night, a long night. We'll only get to Praia in the early hours of the morning, so we won't be going to the port there in the night time, that's for sure. So we're going to break here. At least making good speed. Sitting behind the clears here, you don't feel what the wind's like. I was just out having a look at the lazy jacks, and then you feel how much wind's blowing out here. It's cranky. Ooh, a bit of a wave over the top. Big gusts, sort of 5 to 6 knots. You can see the wind's gone to 70 degrees now, so it's slowly coming around as predicted. And yeah, we're still flying along 9.8, 10. But yeah, at least the swell is also turned with the wind, so we've basically got it parallel to us now. So we're riding over. Every now and then we get a bit of a growler which hits the side and breaks across the deck, but for the rest it's pretty comfortable. A bit of a bang every now and then, but a lot better than what it was this morning, and especially at midday. Midday was we're pretty overpowered. It's still climbing over at a slight, sort of probably a 20-degree angle, 10-degree angle, so it makes it sort of very bouncy. It's got a much smoother ride now. There's a little bit of white water and chop and stuff going on. The swell's picked up a little bit. We've probably got 2 to 3 meters on the bigger swells. And a really big wave come up and nearly hit us broadside just now. But apart from that, it's pretty comfortable now. She's settling into the task nicely. Yeah, it's just past 5 in the morning. Crossing over to the Verdes. I'm just showing you these big arcs below the bait here. I think those are marlin. See this big patch of bait. This is just the history I'm going back on. You can see the tuna up top here, and there's a big section of bait. You can see it ended there. The moment you see this, you start seeing all this bait around here, and I'm almost certain that that's marlin down there. That's a big fish there down there, right there. So looking forward to discovering this area. Lekker sail this evening, it's settled down, and yeah, we're still doing 6.5, the wind's 13.8, not about 80 degrees, but it veers 80, 70, 60. So yeah, interesting stuff. Oh, how's this bait ball with all the fish around it? Yoo-hoo. And the sun's just starting to come up. Hopefully, oh yes, some more as well. And the water temperature is flying up as well. It's gone up from 22, 24.4. And looks like game on. Stuart Simpson sent me some photographs of this water pushing up. Said the game is going to be on. We're on a full moon, so you can't wait to get some lines in the water. Another sunrise. Always lekker. We've got the lures out already. Been up since 1:30. Yeah, I love this time of the morning. Been awesome watching the bait on the echo. Seen some marlin. I'm sure we're going to get something now. The water temps come right up to 24.4. And the water's gone a blue color. We had very green water since we left the Gambia area. And although we raised some fish there, the water just dropped in temperature and went green. A lot of flying fish today. I'm not seeing much flying fish. We only had one on the deck this morning. But yeah, there's big pods of bait. And yeah, another beautiful day. Filled with lots of promise. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Oh, here come the flying fish. On cue. Check us. Right here, check on the roof.
On the roof?
Yeah, as I put the video on, check him. He's flapping here. Yeah, it's a medium sized one. Hey, bait. Pitch bait. Fresh bait. We've already got a collection going. I can get to him here. Yeah. Now, it was always going to be a toss-up when we were on our way up as to how far we wanted to go before we turned. And ideally you want to get to Dakar, but the problem is your wind angle. The wind actually bends and veers. It was coming at like 9 degrees, and then as you go further out it backs and backs and backs, and it ends up, there's actually a 60-degree swing in the wind from Dakar to Mandela. So that's what made us make the decision to swing earlier. And yeah, it's a toss-up whether you want to go head on into it all the way up there, and there's a lot of time wasted, you know. Ideally we were looking at getting at least to Gambia, but when I looked at the swing on the wind, we decided to take a chance, and we actually timed it just in time. If we'd gone earlier, it would have been a mess, and if obviously later, we would have just wasted time and fuel, because we were motoring or motor sailing. But it becomes impossible to motor sail because the wind prevents you. You end up being forced in towards land, and we didn't want to go there because of the fishing activities and yeah, anything else that might occur. What's also interesting is that your wave angle is like that here because the wind is at 9 degrees, and then in the middle your wave angle is probably perpendicular, and then as you're getting across it actually starts to turn, so your ride's over the swell and then sort of a slightly obliquely and then parallel once you get further down. So the ride, instead of getting worse, has actually gotten better, even though the wind is stronger and the swell is bigger. Yeah, both John and I couldn't be classified as experienced sailors. I mean, we've sailed, I was thinking about it this morning, I think we've sailed about 22,000 miles. But yeah, we've had a few interesting experiences today because we've been reefing and also beating with this boat, which we haven't done really. I mean, you choose your downwind routes, you know. We've had a little bit of beating, but it's been motor sailing and not really sailing, you know. And this passage was interesting because of the change of swell direction and your change of wind direction. So yeah, we've learned a hell of a lot about the boat and what she's capable of. That's obviously going to be very handy in the travels going forward. Coming to the end of a lekker day at University of Sailing. Been an awesome day. sun's starting to go down. Wind's backing off. We've got 16, 17 troop, 16 apparent. We're still doing 8-7. Just unfold the jib a little bit. It's actually fully out now. Just playing around with the balance. You see we've got 0 rudder there now. This is nicely balanced. The wind comes back at 70 to over 75, 80. It went all the way back to 40 just now. Completely messes with the balance of the boat. So, it dies down to 13. You see it's come back up to 17, 18 now. I reckon that's it for today. Join us next week as we arrive at the marlin capital of the world, at the Cape Verde Islands, and start our fishing expedition and exploration of the Cape Verde Islands. Join us then, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.